Hi, I wanted to share this short video with you where I sew a book cover, but it isn't really about sewing a book cover. In fact, the tutorial is from Stacy Lee Creative. If you want to follow along step by step and make one yourself, I'll put it up here on screen and I'll link it in the description. But what I wanted to talk about is trying something new in the creative sphere, about the joy of creating, about how there's something really satisfying about that. Holding something in our hands and thinking, hey, I made this. It's one of a kind, it's completely unique, and it exists just because I decided to begin and to go ahead with the project. This started with a small problem. This is my journal. I don't know if this is what people call moleskin, but it's fake leather of some sort. And it was completely disintegrating. They don't make these anymore. I even emailed the company and they don't exist. But I really like this system where you can insert new pages and keep using them. And I even have blank ones at home. And there was the issue, of course, of not wasting them. So I thought, couldn't I just make some? I had some fabric at home. The blue you see is left over from recovering a footstool. And the other piece with the writing on it, I had originally bought as lining for shopping totes that I make from old jeans. That's another completely different project. And maybe, you know what, another video. I liked the fabric with the writing because it seemed on theme, right? Writing in the journal, here's writing. I'm also really into Asemic writing lately. Maybe you've seen that video. But this is pretty easy to put together. Nothing fancy, things I already had on hand. And that's often how these little creative projects begin, with what's already around us, supplies or things we have or we want to repurpose. I had to think about it a little bit as I went along. I do know how to sew. I've been sewing for quite a while, but had to make sure the prints lined up and were going in the same direction. Always important when you have a print. And it's sewn in all one go. It requires a little piece of batting to give it some cushioning, two squares of the fabric that is the outside, and also, a piece for the inside for the lining, and of course the two flaps. Here's me filming myself sewing because I've always wanted to do that. I love to watch sewing tutorials. I've just gotten some really, really good ideas from that. And it's so amazing now because you can watch it being done. So it somehow makes it so much simpler. Now, these small creative projects can open the door, obviously, to something bigger. We can make some really, really amazing discoveries. As I said, I am a seasoned sewer. I learned when I was 10. That's why I had this stash of fabric hanging around. And if you're a sewer, you know about the stash, right? Sometimes it's the secret stash and it piles up. If you're like me, hey, comment if you have ever bought fabric not knowing what you were going to do with it, but oh my gosh, it was just so gorgeous you had to buy it, right? I actually have silk fabric. I have two squares, one red print and one yellow gold print that are gorgeous. And I never used them for what I originally wanted to use them for. I'm digressing here, but I might try to repurpose them into purses and maybe I will film that too. Anyway, if you're a sewer, you know what I'm talking about. But you don't have to be an experienced sewer to do this. And, ultimately, this isn't even about sewing, it's about trying something new in the creative sphere. You don't have to aim to become an expert. You don't have to aim to be proficient. It's about being a dabbler, saying, oh, that looks like fun, and then trying it rather than letting that other voice pop in, the one that says, oh, but you've never done that before. Like, how is it going to turn out? It doesn't matter how it turns out. It's just the fact that we're trying something creative and the joy that that brings, and that we're trying something new. Here you can see I'm putting this together, sewn together all in one go. You have to leave a little space to turn it inside out. And I just took my time and enjoyed the process. And that's the other part, is just about enjoying the process. It's like, getting there is half the fun type of thing. You can, by the way, size this to any size of book. I also like that there's really big inner flaps because I tuck photos in there and other things in there. And it's great because it fit perfectly since the instructions let you make it to any size. Another way I like to dabble is with watercolor. I don't consider myself a watercolor artist. I do like to do watercolor, however, but I even made a video of a simple flower project. So this is the final product. I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. This is my new journal cover. It's really lovely. I like it a lot. I'm really, really pleased with how the fabric, the two types of fabric work together as well. So happy with my choices, happy with how it turned out. I will list the tutorial below. And if you'd like to try something simple and creative, maybe you'd like to watch my watercolor flowers video, and that I'll put up here. Take care, everyone. Happy creating, and I'll see you in the next one.